All right. Looks like we are live. This is Dulo here with Rich from Let's Go Warriors, getting ready to see this Oklahoma versus Oklahoma City game versus, of course, our beloved Golden State Warriors. Very exciting matchup and very exciting day because we are going to get the debut of Jonathan Kuminga, Warriors' first pick in the lottery, in the 2021 lottery. So, very exciting time. We expect tip off in about 15 minutes. So everybody on the live show, definitely excited to see what you're mostly interested in this game. There's a lot of storylines to the game. There's Steph and fourth quarter storing, as that has been a national media story for some ridiculous reason. Debuts of Jonathan Kuminga, return of Moses Moody from the G League, and how will the team fare without their super six man so far of the year, Damian Lee. Quite a few threads to tug at. So we're going to pull up the live stream from Let's Go Warriors. I see we've got Lawrence on the call, or Lawrence in the chat. Yeah, this is going to be a very exciting game. Anytime you get to see Steph and Poole and these guys, it's fantastic. But I'm really excited to see what Kuminga is going to bring to the table. I know he's fresh off the injury, but this should be the perfect matchup for him. He's going to be playing against other long, strong, explosive athletes. So I hope we get him in transition a little bit in some of the junk minutes in the game. He's not in the rotation, obviously, but hopefully he can just show flashes, which is all you want from teenage players, rookies and second year guys. You want them to just show flashes, as we've seen some from some of the other guys who've developed in Golden State's system, such as Jordan Poole. So we've got a few other games that are have already been played. We can chat about those in the next couple minutes while we're waiting for our Warriors to come on. Looks like the Wizards won in double overtime versus the Celtics. Always interesting to see some of these potential trade teams with the Warriors. Pure speculation, but some of the guys that were talked about last year, to see how they're doing with their teams. Obviously, we know Ben Simmons is sitting everything out. Beal is playing okay. He's putting up big numbers, but he's also taking an unbelievable amount of shots. Looks like he went for 36 points today in double overtime, but also took him 32 shots to get there. Wow. Halftime of New York versus New Orleans, with the Knicks up 63-59. Toronto Indiana matchup is 29-31 in favor of the Indianapolis Pacers. And the Sixers are up 35-22 on Atlanta. Now there's a Memphis-Miami game. Heat up 18-8. Very excited to see that because Memphis played amazing against the Warriors a few nights ago. Very few turnovers. John Morant was just in the paint scoring like a center. I don't know if I believe that Memphis is that good just yet. Kamarion Perkins, hello. I see that you've got a comment that say keys to the game, limit the turnovers and take good shots. I agree limiting the turnovers. Absolutely. That's been a huge bugaboo. And the unfortunate thing is the two primary ball handlers, obviously essentially the point guard for the team is Draymond. He's had a few just boneheaded passes and turnovers. So maybe he can work that out of his system, but I think that's just what comes with him because he's assist hunting. So he's going to throw the ball right into the defense sometimes. Steph always has those boneheaded plays where he tries to do some fancy white chocolate, Magic Johnson kind of pass, and it's a pure turnover. So we'll see if he's able to curtail that a little bit. The good thing about this is Oklahoma. Okay, we should be up by 15 or so going into, by the middle of the third quarter, we should have like 15-point lead. So, yeah, I agree with the comment regarding the fancy passes. Always so many of those ridiculous passes. Fundamentals seem to always win in the NBA. But fancy passes make SportsCenter. So, I was watching a LaMelo Ball game, I think yesterday, maybe it was last night. And, man, he was like 0 for 5 from 3, maybe like 3 for 12 overall. But he had a couple assists that were just highlight level, like assist. I know everybody glosses over how terrible a game he played because, he's got 2 assists that are worthy of being on the top 10. Oh, there's a comment from D about turnovers being the elephant in the room. Absolutely. Yeah, you're 100% correct. And I don't think Fitz and Kalena Azubuike, I don't think they're allowed to say anything negative, quite honestly. So I think they have to put a positive spin on the turnovers, which they do. But I think anybody who's watched basketball for more than a week can see that these turnovers, these unforced turnovers, are the difference between a legitimate playoff team and kind of a play-in game type of team. You're talking about unforced errors, and I'm not talking about just the sloppy passes. I'm also talking about guys catching the ball for corner threes and doing that false step where they step out of bounds before they drive. Andrew Wiggins does it all the time, and it infuriates me. Damian Lee does it. It's an interesting thing, but it happens all over the NBA. Interesting thing is I don't remember that much in the 90s, but for some reason, guys catch it and they do this like back step first, which usually takes them out of bounds if they catch it on the wings as a 3-point shooter. So I do hope that Steve Kerr is one, not letting making sure that only the primary ball handlers are the guys who are making decisions. And two, that Draymond and Steph just don't try to be fancy. You have a massive talent advantage over Oklahoma. Just play your game. Don't need to have any highlight plays. Just beat them, run them off the court. And I doubt that Oklahoma City is going to be as hot from three as they were in the first half of the last game down in OKC. That was ridiculous. They were shooting like 40 or 50% from three. They clearly got colder as the game went on, and they remembered that they actually suck, but they were unconscious, and actually had a solid lead. So hopefully that won't happen. We can blow them off the court, get Steph, less than 35 minutes, hopefully around 32 minutes. And then also I hope we get to see Kuminga. Okay, we're getting close to tip-off time. About 4 minutes from tip-off. Okay, I see Nicholas in the chat. I guess he's an OKC fan or a guy who's bet on a lot of money on them. So he's rooting for OKC. Well, I just hope it's a good game. I hope the Warriors win, but on my end, but good luck to you and your OK City Thunder. I do like Josh Giddy a lot, Nicholas. I do like him a lot. I actually wanted Giddy to drop to pick number 8. Or I'm sorry, pick number 6 rather. I wanted him to not get picked at 6 and the Warriors to scoop him up at 7. Selfishly, I do like him a lot. I think he's Joe Ingles 2.0, maybe a little way worse of a shooter, obviously, but the same kind of body and frame and makes nice passes. I like him. I don't know if he's a starting point guard, but I think he's like a small forward in the NBA. I really like him though. Oh, you're Australian. Okay. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Giddy. I really, really thought he would be a great fit for the Warriors. But, OKC with all their, massive amount of picks just was able to scoop him up. And I think he's going to be good for them. He can't finish at the rim, and really right now he can't shoot. But I see traits of really, really nice traits that I like. The passing, the whip passes with the left hand and the right hand. That's a very hard skill to come by. And he's also, because of his height, I think he's a legitimate 6'7". He's got to be at least 6'7", maybe 6'8". He can pass it all over. He can hit guys on the short roll. He can hit guys in the corner. I'm just a big fan of Giddy, and he's added an unbelievable floater game. So the fact that he can't get to the rim, that's always going to be there, just because he's not a real athlete. But he's got the floaters, and at 6'7", 6'8", that release point is relatively high. So I think the release point's got to get a little higher. He does get some shots blocked, which is surprising for his size, but I really like him. I really, really like Josh Giddy. Yeah. Okay. So Anthony put in a comment about Kuminga having more, I guess, more ceiling than Giddy. Yes, that's true. But you know, I'm a sucker for skill over athleticism. because I find a lot of guys jump through the gym. And I think if you saw this year's draft, we had I think the most athletic guy in there was Keon Johnson from Tennessee. I think the guy who had like a 48-inch vertical or something, just like Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins type numbers. But I don't know if he can play basketball. But you can look at a guy like who's a below average athlete, probably like maybe Carmelo, not Carmelo, LaMelo, or maybe Josh Giddy. But you see the skill pop off immediately, the vision, the timing. I mean, these guys are throwing like full court bounce passes with spin and English on them. I That's just natural basketball skill, man. And we just saw the Warriors essentially have a dynasty type feel from was 2014 and 15 they won the championship. Obviously 16, 17, 18, 19. It wasn't a bunch of top level athletes. No one Draymond isn't an elite athlete. Obviously Clay and Steph are not elite athletes. Even Durant, he's a good athlete, he's a solid athlete, but the skill is unbelievable. The mid-range game from Durant, he might be the best mid-range shooter in the league history. Clay might be the best catch and shoot guy in league history. Steph is obviously the best all-around shooter in league history. So it's a kind of skill over athleticism for me personally. Now I know Kuminga has potential to be, I don't know, maybe Kawhi Leonard is, if everything goes right in his life and he just becomes obsessed with his craft, maybe he could be Kawhi Leonard. I don't know. But also, he could also be Stanley Johnson too. We don't know. We have no idea on guys who are super athletic. We don't know if they're going to develop handle, passing ability, feel for the game. And I don't know if you could actually develop feel for the game, quite honestly. I don't know if you can. There's a lot of guys who are great athletes who they will make the same stupid mistakes over and over and over again. Not everybody has that. I mean, that elite LeBron kind of feel where they're unbelievable at a young age. I think it's something kind of organic and natural. But we see guys come in every year who do have a feel for the game. I was watching a Sacramento Kings game. Tyrese Halliburton has an unbelievable feel for the game. He sees things develop. I love those kind of players over raw athletes any day. Yeah, there's a comment in here that says Kuminga's awesome. He'll have a huge game. Maybe. We'll see. He's not in the rotation. And he plays a position that's log jammed because I think Steve Kerr said they want to play him at the 4, but we know that Draymond is going to soak up 35 minutes at the 4/5. And Bielitsa, he's going to play a lot of minutes at the 5 also. So I don't know. And even JTA comes in and plays a lot of 4 and 5. So I'm not sure where Kuminga's going to play unless they can engineer a blowout and then give him the last 8 minutes of the fourth quarter, something like that. But if this is a close game, I don't know where Kuminga gets in. We will see Moody though with Damian Lee out. I can pretty much guarantee we're going to see that. Anthony has a comment about drafting for skill. You always want, let's see, drafting for skills. You probably always want more drafting for talent. You wonder whether he'll develop his potential. Yes. And that's what gets GMs fired is going for these guys who have the high workout, like the arm length is, +6, +7, these super long guys, great verticals. We don't know if they can play though. Sometimes those lottery tickets, they become like a super, a great player. But a lot of times it's just the most skilled guys who come out end up being the most skilled guys in the league. But every once in a while, a really raw player, through hard work makes himself into something. And that's what we're betting on with Kuminga. Because right now, if I ask you what NBA skill does Kuminga have, his handle, his passing, his defense, his ability to create for others or create his own shot. I don't know. I saw in summer league just a guy who's a really good athlete. So I didn't see any distinct NBA skills. So I guess tonight we'll see. Hopefully we'll be getting a tip off soon. We're a couple minutes behind. I wonder how um I wonder if Kerr's going to get Gary Payton II a few minutes because they were getting cooked by Shy Gilgis Alexander. SGA was roasting them last game. Um, and he's a tough cover for anybody. He's very long um, and just very skilled. Again, skill. Skill is the killer because you can grind a game down to half court, which is what happens a lot, especially towards the playoffs. And you got to have skill. All the running and jumping stuff is just, you're not going to just throw bombs over before defenses get set and get fast break points off. Sometimes you got to be able to break a guy down off the dribble. Even if you've got a screen, stagger screen, split screen, whatever it is, you've got to be able to create your own shot. And SGA does that. That's why he got that max deal. Yeah, the guy, he can really play, and he destroyed the Warriors in the first half of the last matchup. And I'm surprised they're playing Derek Favors more because I thought OKC was tanking, and then I watched that Lakers game and I said, "Holy crap, they're actually playing hard. They're actually trying to like win." Um, so they, it looks like they, a lot of the minutes that were going to like Poku and some of these developmental guys, they're like, "Nope, screw that. We're playing Derek Favors." And they actually are pretty good with Favors in there. As Favors is a legitimate NBA center, not like a long-term project or anything. He's a legitimate player. So we'll see. So let's see. There's some religious person saying Jesus is Lord. Okay. All right. And then yeah, D says Jesus is here. Apparently. I guess he is Jesus. He must be a Warriors fan. So maybe he's here to save James Wiseman's knees. It's we could use him back because we need the size. I am getting a little tired of seeing 6'8" Kevon or 6'9" Kevon Looney just get knocked around by Steven Adams and every legitimate 7 foot or 6'11" guy in the league. And then we bring in Draymond as our backup center, who's way smaller. Him and JTA, a bunch of 6'5" guys. All right, got my league pass going.
It's time to forge new paths.
All right, I'm all set up and ready for this game to tip off. The line for anybody who's a degenerate gambler is 12 and a half. I don't partake in such things, but if you're listening to Let's Go Warriors on the YouTube stream, just want to let you know that it's Golden State projected to win by 12 and a half points. And on the ESPN matchup predictor, They give Golden State a 79% chance of winning. But, that's why we play the game, right? But just want to give you the odds makers take before tip off. Steven Ortega, it says, "Oh, you from the Bay, bro?" Yes, I'm from Oakland, California. I live in Washington, D.C. now, but yeah, I'm from Oakland, California. Let's see. Oh, Warriors Travel Coaster says we need a Warriors win tonight. I hope so. I want them to build up their, get some easy wins. And I strategically say I want them to get easy wins because when Clay comes back, I don't want all the pressure on Clay to come and save the team. That's a hell of a lot of pressure to put on somebody who's coming off a shredded Achilles and a Danny Green destroyed knee. So I want them to have a solid record so they're not fighting like they were last year for that play-in game spot and having to play Steph above 35 minutes and just grinding him into a paste. So let's see. Nicholas has a comment that says LA had 100% chance on. Oh yeah, I don't know what that means. But yeah, I want the Warriors to run as many victories as possible because I do think some of those LA teams are going to get better. Absolutely. Like, okay, so the Lakers are a total clown factory right now, and I love it. But I also know that LeBron is probably the greatest basketball player ever. He probably is. So I'm sure at some point he'll get Westbrook out of there, either on the bench or get him traded for other spare parts, and they'll be fine. Kawhi is going to come back. Think about Denver. Jamal Murray's going to come back. I don't know how effective he'll be, but he's going to come back. And so you're seeing some of those top heavy teams. And Utah never win anywhere. They're a regular season juggernaut. They're made for the regular season. They, Rudy Gobert just parks under the rim. Oh, here we go. Game on. The game just started. We got starters: Curry, Poole, Wiggins, Looney, Draymond Green. The traditional lineup. Okay, first basket is an offensive rebound for Kevon Looney. It's going to be interesting. And so he scores on a putback. OKC has SGA, Giddy, Dort, Robinson, Earl, and Baisley. So they're not even playing a center at all. They're just playing like literally a bunch of small forwards. So it's very interesting. Yeah, and not playing a center is going to be tough for them. I mean, I would get favors in the game because they're already getting attacked in the paint by guys like Draymond and Kevon Looney, who are not really scorers. Okay, so we've got Rich from Let's Go Warriors in the house. He's sitting courtside. He's got a comment in there to Steven, says, "You're forgetting about NBA conditioning, so he wouldn't count on Wiseman being back next week." I think Wiseman still has 2 or 3 weeks before he's totally back. As Wiggins hits a three, I'm probably delayed, by the way, because my NBA Game Pass, I think everybody's NBA Game Pass is pretty much trash because I'm living in Washington, D.C., so I'm not watching the local stream, I'm watching it. I'm watching Jordan Poole just get kind of nasty with it. Oh, he's a beast. I wish Jordan Poole would learn to take better shots because he takes some of the hardest shots and he makes them from time to time, but his percentages are always going to be trash if he takes 30 footers and like Kobe type shots. But nobody should take Kobe, Steph shots because they're not those guys. There's a comment in the chat that says Baisley is awesome. Yeah, Baisley was awesome last time. I think the Warriors didn't read the scouting report on Baisley. Baisley would be at the top of the key and they would sprint at him like he was Larry Bird or something. I'm like, let him shoot. He's a world-class brick maker. Don't chase that closeout and let him put the ball on the floor. He loves to attack the rim and dunk on people. So closing out so hard on him, like he's a great, like I said, he's not Klay Thompson. If he's in the triple threat position at the top of the key, make him shoot a three. Don't run out so fast and reckless that he just blows by you and gets a dunk. Because the Warriors have no rim protection. No rim protection. If you get past the free throw line on the Warriors, you're getting a layup or a dunk. I just saw Josh Giddy get past the free throw line and get a guy a lay-in. Oh, and then get beat down the court. Oh, that was bad. Okay, Giddy, they need a timeout. So I've got OKC is down 8-11 on my stream. Let me check ESPN, see if that's, yep. Okay, we're tied up. We're caught up. So far, we've got Robinson Earl with 4 points, SGA with 2, Giddy with 2. For the Warriors, Draymond has 6 points. Wiggins hit a 3, and Looney has a offensive rebound and putback. And that's all the scoring in the game so far. Dre's been okay. We got a comment from Anthony in the chat that says Dre's been looking to, he's been aggressive so far this season. I agree. He's been very aggressive. And I love it. I love it because he looks like he's interested, which is half the battle with Draymond because the last 2 seasons have been total ass, trash, I should say. But he looks interested. He looks like he's in shape. Last year wasn't fair because he had COVID, and also the team sucked. So I don't know if his heart was in it. They were also playing, they were forcing a bunch of young players to get minutes in Wiseman and Poole. And also even guys like Smiley and they were playing a bunch of guys who I understand why he probably didn't enjoy going to work that much last year. But now they've got legit veterans in Nemanja Bjelica. And also they got rid of some of the low IQ players that they had, like Kelly Oubre and the other Kent Bazemore. So yeah, I'm sure that made things harder for Draymond because they just didn't know how to play. I mean, they're in the NBA, so obviously they know how to play, but they don't know how to play Warrior style basketball, which is high IQ, movement, motion offense. And even though Bazemore had been here before, he was still doing fouling people at half court. The ridiculous things. And Oubre was just airballing 3-pointers for no reason, passing open cutters to duck his head down and drive towards the rim and get a charge. So now those guys have been replaced by the Otto Porters of the world. And even the JTAs have taken a step forward, and Iguodala. So high IQ players are back. So I'm sure that's got Draymond feeling much better about this team. It's not just him on defense. So they all switch in unison. Otto Porter's been a godsend for this team because he's a good team defender. Like you can cook him one-on-one in an ISO just because he moves like an old dude at the YMCA. But as a team defender with his length and his strength, he's a very solid team defender. And they already have a couple of plus defenders, obviously Draymond and Wiggins, and solid guys, and that surround 2 great defenders, pretty great defenders with solid players. And you have something special. You have a top 7 or 8 defense. And that's what I think the Warriors will be at the end of this year. Okay, there's a chat from Anthony says, do you see JK potentially becoming a roller for Steph once he's more developed? Absolutely. Yeah, you hit it right there, Anthony. You know the game then, man, because that is a hell of a comment because that is exactly what I see. I see um yeah, so he's definitely gonna be the roller. I do wonder if they're gonna try with Wiseman first, because that would be, better wingspan, maybe a better athlete. But yeah, Kaminga has a downhill strength that nobody else has on the roster. Wiseman's a big, like a finesse big type of guy, but Kuminga, at least in the summer league and preseason, or not, well, summer league rather, he showed a lot of physicality. So I love that with Kuminga. Now we got to see if he can do this against NBA players, but yeah, that's a great idea. That's what I'm hoping for. There's a comment from there's a comment from Drew that says Curry's going off tonight against Lou Dort. Yeah, I don't know. I think Curry is unstoppable, but um, the way that you stop Curry is you don't let him shoot. It sounds stupid, but there's no one who can stop Curry when he shoots. His percentages reflect that. A lot of guys, when they shoot volume, like watch James Harden, like he'll score his 30 points, but he'll take 30 shots to get there, or be begging and playing grifter basketball trying to like get fouls. Curry will still have high percentages. So you got to smother him and not let him shoot and let him just pass it and let guys like Wiggins beat you. Let's see. Oh, Rich from Let's Go Warriors says that Kaminga could be a fast developer. Well, I hope so. I hope so. The Warriors have an unbelievable setup. Oh, Jordan Poole. Oh, okay. So right now I've got 7-10 left in the first quarter. OKC 9, Golden State 12. They're both teams are just shooting a lot of bricks right now. Uh, Another turnover. Jordan Poole got slapped in the face. I don't know if he got slapped in the face, but he's pretending as he's complaining to the refs that he got slapped or poked. Let's see the slow mo. Oh yeah, he did. He got him slapped. Well, he should have sold it better if he wanted that call. Yeah, there's a comment from Drew that says Dort is not going to be able to cover Curry all game. Yeah, it's very true. And I mean, you can get Dort off of you by just simply having them switch or run some sort of stagger screen, elevator doors. They have a whole bunch of plays to get Steph free. So yeah, I'm not worried about Dort. Um, we love defense, of course, but let's be real, individual defense is overrated. Like NBA players are so good that even like an average NBA player can come in and light some of the best defenders up. Just light them up. If their jumper is falling that night, I don't care. I don't care if you're Gary Payton, not the GP2. I'm talking about Gary Payton's dad, who's like the best perimeter defender I think that I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, that you'll get lit up. I remember watching Gary Payton get lit up by guys like Robert Pack. I'm giving my age away because you guys probably don't remember. Robert Pack was the guy who played for the Denver Nuggets, and he would light Gary Payton up because the thing is, NBA players offensively are so good that you just can't shut them down. All you can do is hope they have an off night and make their percentage go down lower. So, like, just having effort. Okay, Jordan Poole on the fast break. Oh, money. I wonder what Jordan Poole's upside is. Because sometimes I watch him and I wonder if he can like one day be an all-star with his talent. He's just an unbelievable. He's so fast with the ball in his hands. Oh, but he is a bricklayer too, though. That's what's holding him back. He's unbelievably fast with the ball in his hand. Okay, Rich can hear me. Hopefully all you guys can hear me. Um, so there's some chat comments about Draymond looking like the 2016 version. I agree. Um, well, I will say this. He was definitely more explosive in 2016. So his finishes that were dunks in 2016 are now lay-ins and off the backboard shots because he's clearly lost a lot of vertical pop. But at the end of the day, he still has a 7'3" wingspan, which is obscene for a guy who's 6'6". So yeah, he's not dunking on guys, but like he was in 2016, but he's at least being aggressive. Um, so that's a massive win for the Warriors because Draymond might be the best all around defender, obviously of this generation, but he's one of those guys like the Gary Paytons or the Michael Coopers, these great Joe Dumars, great defenders. Um, well, Jordan Poole is doing some good stuff. We're gonna need Jordan Poole to really step up this game because Damon Lee, he was chipping in 14 off the bench. So I think Poole's gonna get an extended maybe 4 or 5 more minutes than he normally gets. Um, ooh, looks like OKC has a player with a mullet. What is that about? Is that Kenrich Williams or whatever? No way he got that haircut of his own volition. He must have lost a bet. Yep, he's got a mullet. They've got a black guy with a mullet on their team. They deserve to lose by 30. Yeah, Jordan Poole does need to slow down. Anthony, that is a great comment. Um, Poole is because he's so fast with the ball. Oh my gosh. Oh, Poole with a steal, and he got blocked, but fouled. That was great body control. Oh, and there's Poku. They got Poku in the game. Poku is super interesting because I've been scouting the draft for I don't know 12 years or whatever, 14 years, and Poku is the weirdest prospect ever because he's like a shooting guard, but he's 7 feet tall. Um, and I don't know what to make of him. I'm like, either this guy's gonna be like the best player ever, or he's gonna be just like there's no middle with Poku. He's gonna either be total trash or he's gonna be like this great Dirk Nowitzki with better ball handling type of guy because he's got all these skills in his bag. But I don't know if he'll be able to put it all together. Ooh, what an ugly possession for the Warriors. I think they've got Chioza, Bielika, Draymond, and Poole out there. What a terrible lineup this is. With Iguodala playing point. Uh, well, Drake, I guess, playing point. Poole just turning the ball over and over again. And Chioza can't defend. He's just too small. He tries, but 5'10" guys. I mean, that's tough. Somehow Golden State has a 22-14 lead with this monstrosity of a lineup out there. I don't know what they're thinking with this lineup. So Rich has a comment that okay, wait, let me Rich has a comment and he says Damian leaves in the street clothes, yep, and that Moody would get some minutes. Yeah, Moody actually was in a G League game last night. I think he dropped 17 or so. Um, and then they flew him back up here. So I'm expecting him to get some minutes. They could use his outside shooting in this game, for sure. Yeah. Rich asked, "Where's Rebecca?" Oh, with the hair analysis. Oh yeah, that's what I I was subbing in for Rebecca. Yeah, because there was a guy with a mullet that caught my eye. I forgot about the guy with the mullet. Uh, yeah. Let's see. There's a question. Oh, is Steph out? No, Steph's in the game, but I think they're changing his substitution patterns. So 2 minutes and 18 sec. Oh, okay, wait. My stream was incorrect. So it looks like Curry and Otto Porter are entering the game. Poole and Draymond have exited. Oh yeah, I guess it's Halloween night, so people are all dressed up in the crowd. Okay. Okay, they're showing a stat with that Steph Curry is tied for the lead in scoring, leading the NBA in scoring, tied with John Morant. I think at the end of the year he'll be in the top five, but I don't think he'll lead the league in scoring. This team has a lot of depth. I mean, especially when Clay comes back, and Poole moves into his role where he'll just be a hired gun, like 6 man type. I hope he doesn't lead the league in scoring. That usually those guys are usually you're not on that good of a team when you're leading the league in scoring. Oh, Dort muscles his way in for a little mid-range shot put. There's a three from Chris Chioza, who looks like a miniature version of Steph. Oh, throw Steph the ball. What are they doing? Are they freezing Steph out? Oh, there we go. All right, 58 seconds left. OKC up or OKC down 16-27. Otto Porter's getting some good minutes in, drawing fouls, hitting jumpers. Um, OKC's put in Ty Jerome. I actually like Ty Jerome as a player. I wonder why he doesn't get more burn. I like him. I liked him a lot in college at UVA. He can play. I mean, one of those guys. Maybe OKC's not the perfect fit for him, but he can play for sure. So Drew has says the Warriors should be 5-0. Yeah, well, you know, John Morant beasted them. I mean, they had a lot of turnovers, and John Morant made big plays in the fourth, and Steph couldn't. That game, it's how it goes sometimes. It's basketball. Yeah, I hope Steph does get a third MVP. I think as long as he's in the top 5 in scoring and they're a top 4 seed, I think that makes the argument for him. So if he's above 27 points a game or so, um, I think that you got to give him the reward. Some of the other guys who are going to be on top teams, like look at some of the other top scorers. Like Durant has a lot of help. Carl Anthony Towns has a lot of, well, not a lot of help, but he's got another great scorer in Ant-Man. So it's probably going to be come down to Steph and Ja. And a lot of times they make young guys wait a year. It's unfair, but Steph's reputation would probably help him get it over Ja. So there's a comment from Autumn that says, "Out of all people, I can't believe Draymond is going off." Yeah, he's engaged. He's playing well. Let's see. Nicholas has says, "I agree." Just sent down to lower grade team. Okay, so Rich says the Warriors will finish with 51 wins. Well, yeah, I hope so. I mean, that 51 has got to be caveated with if the big players stay healthy. So that means no major injuries to obviously Steph and Dre. Okay, Drew says, to be honest, I don't see no, number 5 who can guard Curry. Okay. So Rich says it wasn't a prediction. Yeah, I mean, I kind of guessed that they would be around 46 wins. I mean, that was my like my prediction. But I will say I'm more bullish than I was I made my prediction before the preseason. So when I got a chance to see Moody, I said, "Oh wait, this is a legitimate rotation player as a rookie." And that helps a lot. And I also saw the chemistry with Bielika and Otto Porter. And Otto Porter is a good NBA player. He's been out of shape and hurt for 2 years in a row, but he can really play, man. He's lethal from the corners. He's a tremendous passer. He's a bad individual defender, but in Golden State's system, who cares? He's a good team defender because he's strong and long and smart, and he's physical. He'll fight through screens. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't think 51 is a crazy number, especially with what we've seen out of the LA teams that we thought were going to be, pretty good. Even without Kawhi, I thought, okay, well, they were still really good in the playoffs. I think they're like 1-4 now. So somewhere's got to eat those wins. And why not it be the Golden State Warriors? So someone named Icy Boy says that he never goes. Oh, he's saying Steph never goes 1-on-1 against Avery, Pat Bev, or I guess Dort. Come on, man. All right, I can't. I'm not even gonna respond to that. But the good news is Moses Moody is now in the game. So we got Iguodala, Bielika, Moody, who just shot a 3. Oh, and made a 3. Oh my gosh. His jumper is wet. The NBA is gonna regret letting Moses Moody drop to 14 and go to the Warriors. He is the perfect fit as a like a I don't want to say a clone of Clay because he doesn't shoot like Clay, obviously. Nobody does. But he is a very similar game to Clay. Ooh, okay. So we got Golden State up 35-20. Yeah, this is looking like. All right, we might get it. OKC needs a timeout, or this is going to get out of hand. Yeah, Bielika in the post is pretty lethal because he is such a good passer. He's like a dollar store version of um, the Joker. He's like the Safeway, the Kirkland brand version of the Joker because he can shoot the three. He's a good passer. Let's see. Icy Boy is now saying I've been a fan of Steph. Okay. So Drew has a question and says, "Hey, why isn't Curry playing like he normally does?" Well, this is like you don't play him heavy minutes in this game because it's an inferior opponent, quite honestly. So this is one of those like try to get some rest for your main guys type of games. So I'd expect to see a lot of the young players, um, and hopefully we'll see less of Looney, who is still young. He's 25 or so, but he's got a body of like 1,000-year-old person. So I don't want to. You don't want Looney out there, as we all know how injury prone he is. Steph just plays a lot of minutes in general, so let's try to rest him. And Draymond also, so if you have a deep bench, you might as well use it. So Autumn says people always say I've been a Steph fan when they want to talk trash about him. Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. That is the way. Um, usually how things go on the internet. Usually get a preface. It's almost like if you're talking to somebody and they want to say something racist, and they usually start off by saying, "Well, I'm not a racist, but," and then they say the most wild, ridiculous shit you've ever heard. So it is what it is. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. Um, but yeah, I for the record believe that Steph can destroy any defender. He's just too skilled. And there's a lot of NBA players you could say that about, but Steph's just on another level of offensive skill. He's the best offensive player in the league by a lot. Um, so I mean, if he had like a Westbrook drive to just put up stats, I wonder what he could really do. I mean, he's all about winning. So he sits out a lot of fourth quarters. He'll pass when he's double or tripled. But if he just wanted to get buckets and set stats, I wonder what he could do. All right, so 7 minutes and 40 seconds in the second. We've got OKC down 22-35. Okay, so there's another comment here. It says, I want to see two-time MVP Curry tonight. Yeah, think Curry he'll get back in the game. I think when they probably get around the 5-minute mark. Um, oh, OKC's only down 10. Okay. And the closer OKC stays, the more Steve Kerr is likely to get these guys back in the game. As we see Poole with a nice teardrop, he's got to use that shot more. Teams are baiting him into shooting Steph Curry level threes, and he's not Steph Curry. I think let's check his line. He's already 0 for 4 from three. He's got to lay off those threes, man. I know he can shoot, but he's a 3-level scorer. I mean, he can do everything. He shouldn't be relying on the three that much, particularly when he's going through a bad shooting slump like he is right now. Let's see, there's a comment from Icy Boy saying, oh, talking about, I guess this is more Steph Curry slander. Saying Terrence Mann locked him down. Okay. All right. And Marquise Morris, I guess. Okay. Sure. All right. So 6 minutes and 43 seconds. We've got OKC 25, Golden State Warriors 37. Let's see. Let's check on the leading scorers in this game. All right. So Lou Dort has 7 to lead OKC. And Draymond has 11 to lead the Warriors. So far, everybody on the Warriors roster has scored except for Iguodala. Everybody who's played has scored. Yeah, this is just a really deep team. Interesting thing is, Toscano Anderson has not checked into the game yet. So maybe this is maybe they're gonna reserve his minutes for Kuminga. And of course GP2. I thought he might play if SGA, started getting buckets, but SGA has not really, I mean, he's put up 4 shots and he has 2 points in the game. One of my complaints about SGA is he's so damn talented and skilled, but he doesn't always force his will on the game. It's like, okay, he's a beast, but sometimes he's just coasting out there. And I'm not saying he's not playing hard, but he's not forcing the issue. Like, people can't stay in front of you. His first step is disgusting. He blows right by guys. And then he's strong and he's long enough at the rim to fight through contact, get and ones. He's got a layup package. Why isn't he scoring 30 points a game? I can't really explain why. When I'm looking at the box score now, he's only taken 4 shots. Okay. Like, Robinson Earl's taken 4 shots. Dort's taken 5. Giddy's taken 5. The guy with the mullet, Williams, has taken 4 shots. Of course, he's 0 for 4. He'll probably never make a shot again until he gets a haircut. So he needs to be more assertive. It is like Jordan Poole. He needs to have Jordan Poole's mentality of just like taking shots. Just take the shots. Don't turn it down. I mean, he's already a max player. Like, oh, Jordan Poole which is crazy. Another contested fadeaway 3 from Jordan Poole. He makes this one, but man, those are low percentage shots. He's got to stop doing that. I know he made this one, but that is frustrating as I'm a former coach. And it is so frustrating for me to see him dribble through his legs and shoot falling back fadeaway 3-pointers with a hand in his face. That is an unbelievably low percentage shot. And he makes it because he's an NBA player. But holy smokes, you can't live with that unless your name is Clay or Ray Allen or Steph or Reggie Miller. Like, I don't know if Jordan. I don't know if Jordan Poole should be consistently doing those shots. Yeah. Oh, look, and Kerr put him right on the bench, even though he made the shot. Kerr put him on the bench, and that's the right thing to do. I know probably you'll probably say, "Oh man, you're hating." I'm not, but these fadeaways, those drive me insane. It's like, why are you doing that? That is a, it's like Paul George famously said, that's a bad shot, man. Even sometimes you make it, but it is a bad shot. Oh, okay. So we've got some new comments in here. Let me scroll through these. Um, okay, let's see. Oh, somebody said Juan is injured. Icy Boy is talking about Kyrie in the chat, saying no, I'm not reading it. Okay, so Anthony saying that JTA sprained his ankle. I didn't know that. Okay, thank you for that info. I didn't know. Um, I saw JTA on the sidelines and it looked like he was in uniform, but might have been my old eyes playing tricks on me. Um, let's see, another comment here from Drew. Okay. Icy Boy's talking about Steph now again. Oh, okay. So Icy Boy's question is D Lee not playing? No. D Lee hurt his shoulder fighting through a screen last game, and he is out. Yeah. So Jobs Nana says JP keeps jacking up those threes for no reason. Yes. He keeps shooting the hardest threes, either like 2 full feet back. Oh my God, Draymond just got blocked and his whole body like wilted like a flower in the hot sun. What was that? Okay, he's okay. I'm always nervous when any of these guys fall. Um, let's see. Back to the chat. Drew says, what do you think Steve Kerr needs to do with Curry going forward in the season? So he doesn't get cold. Yeah, sometimes Kerr's rotations can, because he's so strict with his rotations, sometimes he does cool off the players. Like he'll have a hot player. Steph will hit a couple shots, Poole will hit a couple shots. Even I've seen where Wiggins has hit a couple shots and he just rolls in his rotations and benches a guy. And then they're ice cold after they sit, for 15 real minutes, which is, maybe 6 NBA minutes. It's unfortunate, but Kerr's had so much success that it's hard to criticize. It's hard to criticize him because the man has like as many rings as fingers or something like that. Doesn't he have like 3 as a coach and what, like 5 as a player or something like that? I mean, he's running out of fingers is what I'm saying. So he knows the game and maybe he just likes these rotations, but I don't like benching guys who are red hot. Just screw the rotation and let them play. Says, okay, comment from Icy that says Curry got to get to the rim when a shot isn't falling. Oh yeah. D Lee died on a Steven Adams screen. Yeah, because he got hit, and I think his arm went numb because he immediately grabbed his elbow, which is normally the sign that you've got some kind of either deep bruise or slight separation or something like that. Um, happens all the time, but I don't think it's going to be that serious. Um, But this is good. It's good to get guys minutes. Oh, what is OKC doing? Are they playing a box and one? I saw Lou Dort chasing him around. The other guy's just kind of sitting. Are they playing a box and one on that last at the three was about the 340-minute mark? Looks like they were playing a box and one on Steph. Oh, Lou Dort with a huge air ball. Jeez, that was an Oubre-esque play. All right, Steph with a deep three. Big brick. Warriors with a 15-point lead. Lou Dort jacking another three, another brick. Moody with the, well, I can't tell. Is that might be Moody. Too many guys with headbands. Oh yeah, that is Moody. And Looney has got a headband too. Wiggins with a three. Wiggins, Wiggins catches a lot of heat online, but man, he's a good player. I know, I know people are like, oh, he makes 30 million. Well, like, dude, you're not paying his salary. Like he's a starting caliber NBA player. He's probably one of the in the top half of small forwards in the NBA. So he's one of the top 15 small forwards in the NBA. He gets paid like one of the top five though, and I get that. But man, he is a really good two-way player. So anyway, Warriors up 18, 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Gonna read some comments now. Icy Boy said that's not a box and one. I think that yeah, I don't know. Maybe the defenders were just there were like two guys at the top of the free throw line, two guys at the base near the rim, and Dort chasing him around, which that is technically a box and one. They might have just called it for that one play, but that was definitely a box and one. Um, and I mean, we've seen a bunch of teams go to box and ones, triangle and twos, a lot of junk defenses against Steph. Of course, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that well because now they have some outside shooters. If you go to a box and one and you swing that ball around really quickly, you should have a guy on the opposite corner. And if that's Otto Porter, man, you don't want to give up that shot. Or Bielika, you don't want to give a free shot in the corner to that guy. And then God forbid, you don't want to give up that shot to Klay Thompson when he comes back. Because you're just asking to get a coach fired. Because they know you leave Klay open. Just, just update your resume. You're gonna be coaching in Europe or something, or you're gonna be coaching in Israel because you're not long for the league. If your scheme is inherently letting a guy in the corner who's a known shooter free. So let's see. There's a guy named Cream Pie, Cream Pie in the chat and says, I did blackface this Halloween. It didn't go well. Okay, good for you, buddy. See, Drew says, I think the Grizzlies are going to go far when they play the Warriors. Yeah, the Grizzlies, man. I didn't like that Valanciunas trade they made for Steven Adams. I still think it's going to come back and haunt them at some point. But they're playing right crazy now. I mean, but I don't believe Ja is going to shoot over 40%. I just don't. I mean, it's a long season. He started out red hot, but he's shooting like 46% from three or something I saw like that. I don't believe that. I don't believe his jumper is not that wet. I expect him to come back down to earth. And also his scoring in the paint is like at a higher percentage than anybody in the NBA. And that's as a point guard. That's not sustainable. The same way, like, remember when Kelly Oubre missed 30 3-pointers in a row? That's not sustainable, like in the wrong direction, but so Percy in the chat says Ja is a good play. Oh wait, no. Autumn says Jaw's a good player. Jaw is a great player. I love John Morant. I don't think he's that great of a shooter as his numbers show right now. But he's on fire to start the season, just like Andrew Wiggins is on fire from three to start the year. Some guys, Wiggins, by the way, is 3 for 3 in this game from three. But obviously that's unsustainable. He's on 100% three-point shooter. Steph takes a lot of charges, and you know what? I don't like any of them. I'm just like, move out of the way, make a business decision. Like 180-pound dude getting knocked down by giants. Like, stop taking those charges, man. Put Gary Payton in to take those charges. Let's see. Got more comments here. A little bit more talk about Ja. Yeah, Ja's a beast, man. Ja was one of the funnest college players because he was just I mean, look how he's unguardable in the NBA. Think about that with like high school punks trying to stay in front of him at like Murray State. He was dunking on everybody. It was so comical to watch John Morant. It was like it looked like watching like Reggie Bush football highlight, where it's like his high school tape. Where it looks fake. He's just so much better than everybody. Oh God, Wiggins just dunked on somebody. So, oh gosh, yeah, it looks like Golden State's starting to blow this open. We're still 18. Was up? Yeah, up 17 now, but they're throwing alley-oops from half court. That's ooh. It looks like the Warriors are playing a bit of a zone right now. Okay. I like to see when Kerr mixes it up, especially against a team like OKC that has no shooters that you're going to respect. Absolutely no shooters on this roster. I mean, they have guys who can, anybody in the NBA can make a three, but they don't have like, oh, offensive foul on Otto Porter. Hmm. Okay, so Angel asked, what's the score? 53-41. Golden State up. So they're, well, I guess they're hanging in there. I thought they were going to blow it open, but OKC has heart, man. I'll say that. They play hard. This young coach that they have seems to be in tune with the players. So yeah, they're playing hard. I mean, and they got guys like Dort. He always plays really hard. It's now 55-41 at halftime. Let me read some of these chat comments. No foul for Wiggins. So Percy says Steph needs to get into the mid range so he can get into a rhythm. Steph, what is that? Yeah, Steph, he's been matched up on Dort some this game, but he also is just missing shots. And he's also getting he's also getting other guys layups like Wiggins. So yeah. So it's comment from Drew says I can't wait till Klay Thompson comes back. Of course. Oh, okay. So Autumn says, oh, anybody can make a three, and then she puts then they wrote Ben Simmons. Okay, look. Ben Simmons can make threes. And this is gonna sound crazy, but I've seen Ben Simmons make threes before. His rookie year, I think he only made like 10 of them, but he physically can make threes. There's something mental with him where he just doesn't want to shoot threes in real games. I mean, Ben Simmons in like an open gym, he shoots a lot of threes. Like literally watch his Instagram feed and he'll be draining threes. But in a game, he doesn't the problem in the NBA is it's not him making threes, it's he doesn't attempt any threes. I don't know why, like what psychologically is going on. Maybe he needs to see a psychiatrist or something, but he doesn't want to attempt 3-pointers. He also tries not to attempt free throws. But when he does drive and have a nice mid-range game, I mean, obviously the guy's been like to like 3 All-Star games or something. He can play. So I have to caveat it. Yes, he can shoot threes. He chooses not to. Oh, they're interviewing Moses Moody for the he's like the halftime interview. He's got 5 points and 3 rebounds in 9 minutes. Okay, so let's see. So Icy Boy has another comment. It says, "How are y'all Steph fans and not getting on him?" Yeah, I don't know. Like they're easily handling this team. I don't think Steph needs to do anything extra and above against such an inferior opponent, quite honestly. I don't even think he'll play in the fourth quarter as long as they have a 15-point lead or so. Let's see. We got a comment from Kareem. Says the Warriors defense is too loose. Yeah. And Nicholas says he doesn't want to play for the Sixers. Oh, okay. Ben Simmons. Yeah. But I mean, Ben Simmons, yeah, he doesn't want, I mean, he doesn't want to play now. Let's see. Someone asked for Giddy stats. Giddy's doing all right. I think he's let me check the line on Giddy. 4 for 6, 8 points, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, a block and a steal in 15 minutes. Not bad. I like Josh Giddy, man. Okay. So Drew says the positive thing about the Grizzlies game is that we didn't lose by our shooting and our scoring. Yeah, that's true. There was a lot of look, that was a loss. Obviously, it's an overtime loss, but there's a lot of positives to take away from that game. When is Steph going to not? Steph didn't score in the fourth quarter or in overtime. So, that's how are you staying in the game without Steph doing anything? That's a pretty good sign. Also the bad turnovers. So they'll be fine. The Warriors will be fine. I still think they'll be a top 4 seed come the end of the year. So Percy has a comment in there that talks about the triangle. No, the Warriors actually don't use the triangle. They use it's a variation. It has some triangle concepts in it. But it's like a pure, almost like if you were like a Pete Carroll Princeton offense from back in the day, a lot of motion and off-ball cutting. So some of those things are in the triangle, the old school triangle, which no one uses anymore. Because the triangle, you really need to have a low post, great passer, and the Bulls could put Jordan in the low post because even though he was a guard, You could put Jordan in there because he could spin out. He could also fade away, which is his famous jump. His best shot was his fadeaway jumper, and he could also hit cutters, Pippen, Rodman, Horsgrant, so on and so forth. Or he could kick it out to guys coming off screens like Steve Kerr, Judd Bushler, BJ Armstrong. Those guys, if you remember the Bulls team, if you're old like me, remember that. But yeah, it's more of a pure motion offense. Um, so you're not forming that triangle. It's more like literally one guy in the low block. It's not like a guy in the block, a guy in the block, and a guy at the top of the key, like forming the triangle with rotating parts around it. It's not that offense. Even though Kerr was good in that offense as a player, as a spot up shooter, that's not really what they're running. That's an old, antiquated. They're not doing that anymore. That's almost like an NFL team using a fullback. It's just not happening anymore, man. But it was a good question though, Percy. It is all these offenses are hybrid. Some of them have plays that they run like this elevator doors one. That's not like a pure motion play. That's just one that like it kicks ass when you have these great shooters. So I think Kerr's borrowed that from somewhere. I don't remember where I first saw that play because a lot of Kerr's stuff is really Popovich's old offense. Um, but yeah, I don't remember where the elevator doors play came from, but that is a very effective play when you're opening it for Steve Kerr when it's when Clay's the shooter. And you got two bigs in the game. But the problem is they don't really have any bigs on the roster right now. Or they I mean bigs who play. I don't know if you can I guess you can use Looney and it used to be like David West and Zaza, those type of guys setting that. I don't even know who the bigs would be. Nemanja Bjelica is not really a great screen setter. So I don't know. Maybe Wiseman when he gets back, he's also not a great screen setter. So I guess you're gonna have to use Dre and I don't know who else, maybe Looney. But also that means you got to play Dre and Looney at the same time, which also hurts your spacing a lot to have those guys. I mean, that's why they start Looney and then they get him out of there pretty quickly. So Drew says the Warriors will be a 2 seed. I think that's a little rich for my blood. Um, okay, Percy's got a comment. He says, I'm not worried about Steph. I mean, Steph is, I mean, yeah, I'm never worried about Steph either, especially against a team like OKC. Like, who cares, right? They're gonna win by double digits, in my opinion. So, um, I'm not stressing out about him. I don't want him to pad his stats or anything. Just play your small amount of minutes and then get out healthy. Yeah. So Percy, yeah, it is more of a Princeton offense. Yeah, it's a lot of backdoor cuts. That's actually why Otto Porter is the perfect fit for this offense because Otto Porter played at Georgetown. Georgetown at the time played the old Pete Carroll offense with the backdoor cuts. So they played that Princeton offense under a coach named JT John Thompson III, John Thompson's kid. So yeah, he's coming into an offense, and you could see it right away in the preseason. He was making the cuts, he was making the reads, he was getting to his spots for the corner threes. Yeah, he's built for this offense. I mean, he's a high IQ player. I really think he's like a wonderful fit. And like I said, he's been playing in this offense. He was 17 or 18 years old. So he's well intimate with the motions, where he's supposed to screen, when he's supposed to curl, where the guys are going to flash for passes. He's well versed into it. So great fit. Let's see. Autumn says finish between a 1 and a 3 seed? Possible. I don't see the one. I don't see the 1 seed because Utah is like built for the regular season. They jack up a lot of threes and they have a dominant rim protector that they just sit underneath. And because it's regular season, nobody tries to exploit Gobert. They save that for the playoffs where they are going to like start trying to ISO him and pull him out. So through the regular season, they are just a beast. Let's see. Percy says he's got high hopes for Wiseman. I do too. I see a physical body of a guy like David Robinson when I look at him with the way that he just man the way he's put together. Guys who are 7 feet shouldn't be moving like that. The guy's he should be a scoring big, and if he can score, man, if he can just be a guy who gets you, I don't know, 14 points. Man, I don't know how you stop the offense. Because right now, that's the one thing Golden State is missing. A little bit of low post scoring. And I know that like this isn't the old days where you need, to dump the ball down to Shaq and have him take 4 dribbles, backing somebody in and dunking. But you still need to have some balance. You can't all just be at the 3-point line. So I'm hoping it happens. I'm hoping Wiseman comes back healthy and he's a threat on lobs. I'm hoping first and foremost, we need a lob threat because right now we've stretched the floor with all these shooters. But once you penetrate, the defense can coalesce and stop you. And then unless you have the magical finishing skills of Steph, everybody else, Poole's got some nice skills too. But other than that, who else is finishing on this team? I'll wait because I just don't see it. I mean, Moody doesn't have athletic pop. Kuminga does, but who knows what he can do? I mean, he's never played an NBA minute in his life. But who can finish? Who's got the athleticism and or the pure skill set to finish? And I want to see somebody who's a lob threat. Like, you know what this team would need? They honestly need a JaVale McGee type dude. And I know that he's always like Shaq and a fool and we make fun of him. But JaVale McGee would be perfect on this team. He would be because he blocks shots, he runs hard, and he gives you that vertical threat of the lob. And I mean, I'm so tired of seeing Draymond throw lobs to Looney and Looney catching it and doing double, triple pumps and just traveling. Like, what is that? That is so frustrating to watch. Okay, so there's a comment from Terry who says, if we figure out to handle, oh yeah, getting the turnovers down. Yeah. And we need Wiseman because of the scoring and the size. Absolutely. I agree 100%, man. Just the size changes things because, like, I understand John Morant or whatever, but like, I don't want to see some weak ass guard like Avery Bradley thinking they can just dunk. Like, I definitely don't want any part of that. Like, make them deter them. Having size is a deterrent. And right now, we don't have any size. They see Looney and they're just like, yeah, right. We're not, we're going to contest you. We're going to take it right to you. Okay, so Rich says a lob threat would be great. But I'm not sure the roster has room. Well, no, the lob threat is James Wiseman. He's already on the roster. And we're just saying he needs to come in and do that. He needs to do essentially what JaVale McGee did a few years ago. So we're not you wouldn't have to cut anybody. He's already on the roster. So we're hoping in 2 weeks we can see him play. So Terry asked, when is Wiseman expected to come back? I think I mean from what I've read that they're thinking I don't know, mid-November is what I had read a while back. I think he got cleared to practice within the last week, and usually they're going to give you 3 weeks. And so I'm thinking mid-November we might get a little bit of Wiseman. Of course, he'll be on a minutes restriction though. As all injured players when they come back should be on minutes restrictions. But I'm ready for him to cut into Kevon Looney's minutes. I'm ready for that. I'm definitely ready for that. Okay, so Rich has the official update. He says he's reevaluated Monday. After that, it's about conditioning. So mid-November at best. Okay, so yeah, that's essentially what I was reading about. That mid-November was the projected time. But with these injuries, you never know. So but yeah, mid-November. That would be nice. Okay, Drew says he's excited to see Klay Thompson. Oh my God, me too. Klay is one of my favorite players of all time. He's the prototype for a three. For like when you talk about 3-and-D, that is the prototype in NBA history of like legitimately what a 3-and-D is supposed to be. Can guard multiple positions, guards points, shooting guards, small forwards, power forwards. He guards 4 positions at an elite level and obviously shoots at an elite level. Like you can't draw a player better than that on like that's something out of a lab. That's a coach's dream. And just the threat of Klay means that you have to space your defense out. So yeah, I can't wait to see Klay play. And he just plays so hard and with so much joy. Steph Curry's hitting threes, so here we go. So Warriors up 63-46 on my watch with 10 minutes and 19 seconds to go. Curry has 11. Wiggins has 11. Draymond has 14. Poole has 7. SGA starting to heat up. He's got 13. All right, Curry just busted a 3 right in Lou Dort's face. Yeah, Curry's such a cheat code. There's just no. It must be so aggravating to play against him because he hits shots and this release is so quick. Like Dort's trying to get physical with him, but Curry's just jogging and and Dort there's nothing he can do about it. And he can do that at any moment, at any time. He can just squirt you right in the face. You can't do anything about it. And if he gets a screen, I mean, it just breaks the defense. That a high pick and roll with Draymond and Steph is literally one of the most lethal plays, 2-man plays in NBA history. Because if you, I mean, what are you going to do, right? You have to go over the screen because Steph is such a ridiculous shooter. And then once you split it, if he passes Draymond who penetrates in the paint, you're either going to give Draymond a dunk, and then there's always going to be a cutter from either side. So Draymond is then he's either throwing a lob here or a lob there, or he's making a layup. Or if they're just going to have one cutter, then the other guy is going to be posted up in the 3 corner, and that would be Steph. So Steph would pass to Dre, middle of the screen, and then you have hopefully Wiseman for the lob, or on the other side you have Klay. So what do you want? Do you want Wiseman to dunk? Do you want Draymond to just lay it in or dunk? Or do you want Klay to have it pretty much an open 3? I don't know how you defend this offense when Wiseman comes back. If he's the vertical threat, if he's healthy enough to be the vertical threat, to just dunk it, just dunk. I don't know. because this offense is already humming, and they're missing one of the best guards to play in the NBA in Klay Thompson, and hopefully a guy who's a future really good player in James Wiseman. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I don't know how you stop this offense. Let me go back to read some more chat. Let's see. Okay. So Looney scored a bucket, and Rich is roasting me a little bit. I'm down on Looney. Okay, I admit, like he's a really he's a high IQ player. Um, I just don't like that he doesn't give you. He's not a starting NBA center. That's my main issue. I like Looney as a backup center. High IQ, more switchable than he looks. I just don't want him starting. I don't want him playing more than 17 minutes a game, more than 15 minutes, honestly. He just hurts you. He's too small. But hey, he's doing well in this game. So Jab says that Curry's the most fun player to watch. I agree. Curry is so fun to watch. Um, comments about Draymond being, just balling. Oh, okay. So there's Kenny Atkinson's leg. Yeah, I read that he hurt his knee or something or leg. I don't know what was up with that. So I don't have any info. Hopefully, maybe Rich can find out some info on that. Oh, okay. Wait, he's already posted it. There's no update on that. I thought he was gonna not be on the bench and he was gonna be watching from like the box or home or something like that. If he just had some sort of surgery or something, I don't know. But anyway, we wish him well. We wish he's been a huge addition to the coaching staff, that's for sure. Um, so yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of what he did actually in Brooklyn. His development was really good. Guys like Spencer Dinwiddie, D'Angelo the Snitch Russell. He did a lot of development. So um, oh guys, Curry hitting another three. Yeah. Curry can like be having a bad game and then he'll just hit a bunch of shots in a row and like it'll look like he had a great game. Guy Curry has like that Barry Sanders thing going on where like he'll just bust like 180-yard run and then you look at the stats and you're like, oh, okay, well, wow, Barry Sanders had another great game. And you're like, yeah, but he just had one play where he just exploded. Curry's got that kind of volatility where he just 2 minute stretch, he might drop 12 points on you. Let's see. Um, yeah, so Rich says that Atkinson is like really active in practice. Yeah, I've heard about that. That he goes out there and he's screening guys and trying to take charges. Like he's actually like playing. um, but no, I think you need a high energy coach, particularly on a really veteran laden team. Like I don't think Steve Kerr's like kind of Zen Phil Jackson impression. I don't know if that's going to work long term with a bunch of vets. I think you do need an Energizer Bunny kind of guy, um, for better or for worse, to get players fired up and stuff like that. I think, and you're seeing a more aggressive Andrew Wiggins this year, and I have to think that that's a Kenny Atkinson thing. I mean, in this game, he's 4 for 4 from three, uh, but still playing good defense. So you got to love that. As I said with Wiggins, man, he's just a good player. Oh, they got a shot of Clay on the sideline showing up the three when Wiggins hits it. All right, so we're midway through the third. I need to start seeing some Kaminga. I'm sorry. I need to see it. Oh, wonderful defensive play by Jordan Poole and Looney. Oh, Wiggins tried to tried, tried to break the basketball with that dunk. Yeah, so Kaminga, for those asking in the chat, Kaminga has not checked into the game yet. I'm hawkishly watching to see. But he has not entered the game. JTA has not entered the game, and GP2 has not entered the game. Man, if Lou Dort gets that 3-point ball going consistently, he's got a long future in the NBA. Oh, Jordan Poole is just so unbelievably fast with the ball in his hand. Man, that is a blur. Wiggins is punishing Giddy every time they get matched up on each other. He's hunting him. Oh, that's got to be a travel on Giddy. Yeah, I like Giddy, man, but yeah, you got to take your lumps. They've recognized that he's like this little sweet spot, and they're going at him. He doesn't have. He'll never have the foot speed to keep up with a guy like Wiggins. Oh, is OKC still playing the guy with the mullet? Okay, no, that's not him. Okay, let me check the chat. I think Ron Adams is still with the Wizards, Wizards for the Warriors. I thought he was in like a semi in a reduced role, but he was still advising, if not coaching. Okay, so Drew asked, "Do you think we're one of the best teams in the West now?" Yeah, I think they're one of the top four teams for sure. Utah is still a problem, and because we're talking regular season right now, right? Utah is still probably going to be a number one seed. They're built for the regular season, man. They are. Utah's a problem. Denver is still a problem. I don't sleep on Portland's going to have a good record, probably, because they're also another regular season team. Like Dame and CJ's trash can defense, that doesn't really show up during the regular season. They outscore teams all regular season, and then they get into the playoffs and teams scheme for them, and then they go home really fast. Memphis is a problem. Memphis is a problem, man. They've been look at the last two drafts that Memphis, or actually three drafts that they've had. Jaren Jackson is an animal. Ja is Ja, man. Desmond Bain is can really play, man. Holy smokes, Desmond Bain is a beast. As a catch and shoot guy from three, oh man, he's lethal. So yeah, I'm bullish on what Memphis is putting together. They have a legitimate GM. This isn't like, you know, the owner's kids making a bunch of picks. This is like they have a legitimate NBA scouting and coaching staff. So Yeah, you better get used to Memphis. Because Memphis is gonna be a problem. So yeah, I see the Warriors as coming as probably a fourth seed. I still don't believe in Phoenix. No one's asked me, but I don't believe in Phoenix. I think Chris Paul had a crazy run last year, but I also think that was due to, other teams having every team they played in the playoffs had like a major injury. It's like, okay, you get to play the Clippers up with no Kawhi, or you get to play, I don't know, Denver with no was it Jamal Murray? They had a cakewalk. I don't believe in them. I don't. I like Booker as a scorer, but CP3 is a choke artist. I don't believe in Phoenix. See, there's a question about bringing about 60 wins. Yeah, no way. No way this team is winning 60. No way. I do not see that. There's a question about Jordan Bell. Could he come back from the G League? Yeah, maybe, but I hope not. If Jordan Bell's on this team, some things have gone really wrong. Jordan Bell is probably a really wonderful young man, I'm sure, but he's just not an NBA player. I'm sorry. Like, what does he do at an NBA level? I would like to know. Like, if the person asking, what do you think he does at an NBA level? Is rebounding, shot blocking, scoring, man defense, team defense? I don't know. I don't know what he does. I don't know what he does. I'm not a fan. Okay, so Drew says he thinks we're better than the Utah Jazz. Well, in the playoffs, I think, yeah, for sure. In the playoffs, I think that, oh, Chioza, the ugly three. Jeez. I don't want Chioza playing anymore. Send him to the G League. Jeez. I do not like the squad when he's on there. He's just too small. And he's not giving you enough on offense to make up for his defensive deficiencies. Oh, you got lost and gives Muscala a dunk because he's caught looking. Yeah, just get him, send him back. Keep the receipt and return him. Okay, so yeah, Chioza, cheese. Okay, so there's a question of, oh, here we go. LaMelo versus Wiseman. I mean, I wish I could build like a time machine or something and then we could take LaMelo, but we can't. So, but yeah, for if you nine times, no, not even 9 times, 10 out of 10 times, I would pick LaMelo over James Wiseman because not that to say that Wiseman can't be better, but this is a guards league. I think if you look at like I think 8 of the top 10 scorers in the league were guards last couple of years. If you like were to aggregate them, so you're talking about Steph, Dame, Kyrie, um, essentially everybody except for Kyrie and Giannis. I mean, for KD and Giannis. All the rest of the guys were guards. So, and you could say the same thing about assist. You could say the same thing about scoring. It's guards. So who are the people who are putting buckets up, right? The Hardens, the Kyries, the Stephs, the Dames, the Lucas. So yeah, I would take an impact guard over an impact big in this day and age. So Steph is up to 20 points. I see a casual 20. Well, yeah. So Rich has a great point about Melo, like the personality, because you got to remember, like, dude is like a social media TikTok star or whatever, or Instagram, whatever you kids are doing today. No, I'm just playing. I know what they're doing. I work in IT. But yeah, I don't know if he would fit in because he wants to be a star and Kerr is interested in winning. And I don't know if he would put up with that stuff, especially from a guy who doesn't defend. Um, so yeah, Rich has a good point too. Yeah, Melo's dad. Yeah, that's other. Yeah, because we know Steve Kerr and what's the guy, the stay in your lane guy? Whatever the father's name. We know that they already had literally were arguing on TV, dissing each other a few years back. Lonzo Ball. No, what's the guy's? Shit, I can't remember. Shoot, I can't remember the father's name. Um, whatever the father ball triple B guy's name was. LeVar. Yeah, thank you. LeVar Ball. So yeah, and I know no coach wants that distraction. Actually, if you look at this Sacramento situation, the Bagley father is also kind of like really outspoken and says some off the wall stuff too. So look how Marvin Bagley is getting punished in Sacramento. This guy was dropping 15, or I think he was dropping like 15 and 9, and they won't even play him now. And it's not like he was dropping 15 and 9 with the current center that they have, that they just gave a big deal to. But they're just not playing him at all now. And I have to think part of that is because they don't like, Marvin Bagley Sr. His dad talks a lot of shit. So, and it also affected his brother's draft status. His brother played at there's a guy named Marcus Bagley who played for Arizona State last year. He was a freshman. He put his name in the draft. I was hearing that he ended up not like going back to school, but teams were concerned about his dad. And I was like, damn, you're punishing this kid because the dad might be an ass. But it happens, and nobody wants the Lonzo Ball in LA with LeVar talking trash and coming on ESPN and First Take and Fox News, basically pooping all over the coaches and GMs. So I understand it. Okay. Oh, my man Jeff is on the chat also, is on the Zoom call. Jeff, you there?
Hey, just setting my stuff up.
Okay. Good to have you on.
Yes, always glad to be here. Check on it. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. So Anthony in the chat says he would take Wiseman over Melo. I mean, look, they're both good prospects, but one is actually a good player right now. So
Yeah,
yeah, unfortunately, man, that's one of the things where sometimes politics get in the way, and those politics are mainly LeVar Ball and Steve Kerr hating each other. So, oh yeah, there's a question about Milovic. Yes, I think Milovic is going to be a big addition because he's coached a lot of bigs over his career, a lot of those Euro bigs, and if he can just get Wiseman to play with some of those skills, um, understanding footwork, understanding just screen setting, kind of basic fundamental things. I think Wiseman will be a really, really good player. Conversely, Melo has potential to be a great player.
yep.
So that's why I gotta say that the organization pretty much probably did make a mistake, but what can you do, right?
I mean, historically, it's been met with the, do I take the talent to win now? Or do I take the talent to like for the future? And most of the times, teams go for like whatever fits the team right now. And
Oh yeah,
everyone, it's
yeah,
always in hindsight. Oh, but like, look how well it might have turned out. But then, like, you never know with the systems and how your team's gonna line up heading into
yeah,
playoffs and stuff. So can't really fault anyone for any decisions they make there. Oh my-
Right. Yeah, it looks bad now, but it's not really fair
Yeah.
because Wiseman was everybody knew that this draft had uh Anthony Edwards, and then there was a huge drop off.
Yeah.
So like, you weren't gonna get some super like a guaranteed star after number one. There were tiers to it. And we chose the guy who we thought could basically do the JaVale McGee thing.
Yeah.
And his father wasn't an ass. So that's what, who knew that he was going to get? Because you got to remember, dude got COVID in the beginning of the season. Then he
Right.
fell down and hurt his wrist and missed some games. Then he came back and got his shot blocked, high pointed in Houston and ripped his knee up, his meniscus. So he had 3 major setbacks last year, injury wise. So, just give the kid a chance. I think
Especially since he's
fine.
also a center as well. Young centers take just way longer to develop. I've
Yeah.
just joined to watch the game, and this does not look like pretty basketball.
It's not. It's been a pretty ugly game for
Yeah.
the most part. Like very choppy and
The scoreline was what we expected it to be last time.
yeah. Oh,
Honestly.
Chioza hit a 3.
Nice. Oh, okay.
You know what? I do not like watching Chioza play basketball. I gotta say it. I do not. And for OKC, I do not like the guy with the mullet.
Which is the guy with the mullet? Is it Josh Giddy?
It's it's a Keinrich Williams, so like a black guy with a mullet.
Oh, right.
I just hate it. I'm just watching him and like wondering what bet did he lose that he had to have that. Like, does he know he has a haircut? Like, did they sneak into the dorm room and like shave his head and he didn't know that they only cut like part of his hair? It looks crazy.
Oh, wow. Walked.
So Draymond looks like they're sitting him down. I don't know if he'll come back for the night because they got a 22-point lead or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's close to a triple double. I mean, I think he's like 2 rebounds away. Let me check.
Oh, he's 2 assists away.
Oh, 2 assists. Okay, well that's a little harder.
Maybe he comes in just to grab those 2 assists.
I hope
I don't
not.
know.
I don't like to see him stat hunt, but that should be reserved for Russell Westbrook stat hunting.
I mean, that's all Russell Westbrook can get now. So
Yeah, I think triple doubles are his like championship rings. Like,
good, good. If he's gonna focus all his energy on that and not actually improving and changing based on what the team needs, I'll take it.
yeah. I hope he just sinks the Lakers team and just makes them all just break out into selfishness and stat padding.
Yeah, because it's funny because Lakers are from the best defensive team in the league to like 3rd worst or something now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there's no point of attack defender. So like, I know they brought in Bazemore and what's the other Avery Bradley, but I don't know what Westbrook has destroyed that team. he has. He's like when he's out there, it looks nasty. They don't know what they're doing. He's got the ball.
I still don't understand that trade though, because they sent Montrezl Harrell, who is like 2 years ago was a great asset for them.
Yeah.
And then last year he was just like thrown to the side and ignored. But like, why?
I don't know. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I guess he didn't get along with LeBron and AD.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only thing.
Yeah, if LeBron says trade, then I guess they trade.
And Kuzma also. He just didn't get along with those guys.
Yeah.
So they shipped him out. I mean, yeah, part of the Montrez thing was he gambled on getting a big contract and he didn't. So he went to the Lakers to spite the Clippers. But then he didn't get along, so they shipped him out. And now the Wizards are actually like playing good basketball with Kuzma.
Yeah.
And
the Wizards were meant to be a team that's going to languish for the next 5 years, but now they like suddenly seem like they have a decent future.
Yeah. I mean, because look, 3 legitimate NBA players. They're not stars, come on, but they're like legitimate NBA players, and that strengthens your roster. And right now, Westbrook is still an NBA player, obviously, but he's not worth it. He is not worth all that contract. He's just not worth it. He's jacked up the chemistry for sure.
Did you see the table of acquisition? Oh, Jordan Poole, nice. Oh wait, we should sync up.
Okay, so Gary Payton's in the game. Oh, he checked in and played a minute. So we are still waiting on the Kuminga debut.
Oh, has he not played yet?
No, unfortunately, Steve Kerr's giving him the old school treatment.
Right.
So it looks like JTA and Kuminga are just pinned to the bench. I don't know. But like in a 30-point blowout, this is almost a 30-point blowout, they gotta get Kuminga some minutes.
Yeah, it's 29 now.
Yeah, I got 29 on my end too. Yeah, and it's so yeah, checking the comments. So Anthony says that Zach Lowe said that if GP2 played 1,000 minutes, he'd be all defensive. Maybe. I mean, he is a really good on-ball defender.
His issues aren't on the defensive end.
Yeah. I mean, but here's the flip side with GP2. He can't dribble. He can't pass. He can't shoot. So I don't want him to play 1,000 minutes, man. Like, I don't want to see that. Like, okay, he's put him in when a guy's really red hot, like Dame Lillard or CJ's red hot, and you just want to try to cool them down.
Yeah, or like just single defensive plays where like
Exactly.
end of the quarter stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to see him because half of the game is offense. And oh man, I don't want him playing offense because he can't handle the ball and he can't pass. So he's not a point guard. He's like a really tiny small forward.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I don't want to sound like I'm hating, but
you just have to acknowledge the strengths and weaknesses.
yeah, I mean, he does possess NBA level and even elite at that on-ball defense.
Yeah.
So, and what are you going to do? Are you going to really like offensively? Where do you hide him? Are you going to really play a 6'2" guy in the dunker spot? I don't know. That seems stupid.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you just drafted like a 7'1" guy, like in Wiseman. That should be the guy in the dunker spot.
Okay, Wilt Chamberlain with the block. Where in the game are you up to?
Let's see, 58-82. I'm at the 11:58 mark in the fourth quarter on my screen.
Oh wow, you're like 2 minutes behind me.
Yeah, these streams are so trash. Like,
what are you watching it on?
This is okay. So I was on like the NBA stream that I pay for, but it was so choppy.
Right.
I'm now doing the NBC Sports one from the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I switched to a internet stream because my paid for one was so shitty, so terrible.
Yeah, I find it really funny because the league pass for me in Australia, like quite often is better and faster than the one that Rich and Rebecca have.
Oh,
like all the different like various methods of like watching.
Maybe I need to do my league pass, but switch my VPN to Australia or something. I don't know.
maybe. Because I know that the TV coverage and stuff, they don't show certain games on League Pass in the States, right?
Yeah, they black out.
If it's on national TV, I just think that's so stupid.
It is so stupid. Yeah,
it should be like exclusive bar League Pass.
Yeah, I mean that's why you have to use my VPN to jump around. So I'll like use a server that's in the Bay Area or something like that, to get these games.
Pull from deep. Okay, shots are falling now. 2 minutes in your future.
Yeah. So I do have the ESPN score open, so I do see those, text updates of the score and stuff like that. Oh, Giddy, I know I'm behind you, but Giddy had a nice pass. It couldn't get.
That little pocket into the drive, out from the drive.
Yeah. Yeah, I was saying earlier in the cast, I really like Giddy. I was hoping that would be the Warriors pick at the Kaminga spot, and I was pissed off when OKC swooped in, and I did not expect OKC to take Giddy.
Yeah.
That was a massive shock. Nothing I had heard connected those two together. That was a big, big shock for me. Like I had heard that OKC loved Kaminga, so I was fully expecting them to
Really?
take him, and that would fit. They take long athletes and just try to make them into basketball players. That's what I mean. That's their MO. A bunch long guys who can't shoot.
Yeah. And then they have Luka's thoughts just as an outlier.
Well,
The opposite of
yeah,
long.
well, yeah, yeah. So like Kaminga, it looks like an OKC player to me.
Yeah.
Like I was like, okay, so I was like, okay, that's great. We're gonna get Giddy, who's gonna be like this Joe Ingles 2.0. And then I was pissed off when he was off the board.
Who's Alexis Pokuvis?
Okashevsky. Oh my god, he's a so I a little bit earlier in the cast, I said that's one of the most interesting guys that I've ever scouted in my whole 12 or 13, 14 years of like NBA draft coverage because this
Really?
guy has unbelievable skills at 7 feet tall. He's like a shooting guard. So I don't know what to make of him though, because it's like he's either going to be the best player in the NBA or he's going to be out of the league. Like there's no middle game between him. He's either everything
Right.
or
There's
nothing.
no like decent spot for this, like that type of player.
Yeah, so I like if I'm OKC, I'm just gonna play this guy 25 minutes every night, even though he sucks right now, because he's 7 feet and he can handle with both hands, he can pass and he can shoot. So what can he be? Like just find out what he can be. Essentially, like remember what the Warriors did with Smiling Each,
Yeah,
where
no,
they
because
just like
Poku sounds very familiar, but like I just don't remember who he was off the top of my head.
he played in the Greek league like Giannis did, like the level
Right.
3. It's kind of like a shitty Division 2, like how
Yeah.
college is. Yeah, he played in like a crappy league, but 7 foot guy with guard skills. You just have to see what they develop into. Let me read the chat to make sure we're caught up with everybody.
Oh, there we go. Poku 3. Yeah, it hits. As I speak of him. Wow, he's so
Yeah,
skinny.
so skinny, man. He is so skinny. He looks like an investment banker. He doesn't even look like a player. He like he just yeah, he's got skills. So like I mean, guys, that's the OKC MO. Tall guys
Are they
with
just they're just shooting for future Giannis's?
yes, that's it. That's it. That's basically all they're doing is just saying we value wingspan and we value like kind of skill and athletic ability, and we are hoping that these guys turn into players. Because if you do, those aren't singles and doubles; those are home runs. If you
Yeah.
hit, and
Especially since they have time to develop. They're in no rush.
oh yeah, they're gonna suck for a
Especially with the
while.
amount of picks they have. I
Yeah,
think so it's basically the second they hit, they trade everything and then what was that pass?
yeah. So OKC strategy is also a little weird though, because I know they have a bunch of like middle picks, and I don't know what you do with those guys. You can't roster a bunch of like young kids.
I think trade fodder.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I don't understand in the NBA though, because no one is trading for like a number one pick. Like, if you
Right.
get a number one pick, nobody was trading for Cade Cunningham. I don't care what you offered. The same way that no package was going to get Anthony Edwards out of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Like the Warriors could have said, okay, we'll give you number 2 and your pick back and 3 Warriors future picks. Minnesota would just give him the middle finger and say, no, we're taking Anthony Edwards. I don't keep your 6 picks. We're going to get one home run player because one home run player changes your whole franchise. I mean, and look how Anthony Edwards is just destroying people.
Oh, Kuminga's on.
Okay. All right. Now
He's
we
at the scores table.
Yeah, you're a
Also,
little bit ahead
Juan
of
came
me.
in as well.
And JTA, right?
Yeah, JTA came in. Porter, another 3? Oh my god. The entire team is positive right now, plus minus wise.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It's a blowout. It's our first blowout. Finally.
Yeah. Good to get a blowout. I mean, because you get to make sure that Steph is not going to get injured.
Yeah. And it's the start of our homestand as well. So Steph's only got 20 points. Oh, he's only played 27 minutes. Okay, never mind. Andre's got 10 rebounds. How? That's interesting. Wait, Looney has 3 blocks? Okay.
Yeah. Like the Kaminga thing is finally coming in on my stream. He's finally coming in now. That's how far behind I am.
And you got a stoppage after this as well.
Yeah, this Otto Porter edition is so huge
Yeah.
for the Warriors. I mean, because this is the Otto Porter from 2018. Like not the injured one from the last 2 years. Like he's a good team defender, a great shooter, really good passer. Like earlier in the stream, I said I watched him at Georgetown and he played in for John Thompson III, and they ran this the Princeton offense, and the Warriors' motion offense is based on the Princeton offense. There's a lot of the backdoor cuts and rub screens and a lot of the nuances. So Otto Porter's like a natural. Like he's been running this offense since he was 17 or 18 years old. And you can see it right away. Like he knows where to be to get his shots and to hit cutters. Like this is you got to give Bob Myers all the credit in the world for being able to pull off getting a guy who should be a mid-level guy on a minimum contract.
Yeah. I was surprised when he was signed.
Yeah, I was shocked too. When he was signed, I said, "Oh, okay, good. Lakers finally used the mid-level." And then I saw that he came on the minimum, and I was really shocked.
All right, the first defensive set with Kuminga basically fizzled out to nothing.
Yeah, my little
the-
stat tracker.
The
says-
crowd is cheering every single time he gets his hands on the ball.
Yeah, I think they're going to send Kuminga down. I think this is his last NBA game for a little bit. They're going to have to send him to the G League.
Yeah, I mean, the Santa Cruz does a really good job with player development,
Yeah.
as we've seen.
So let's see. I'm just checking the chat. Looks like everything's been answered. Oh, someone in the comments says the Jazz might lose to the Bulls.
Oh, they did lose to the Bulls. It's
Hmm.
not right, they did. So no one's undefeated now.
Yeah, another game of note that I'm watching a little bit of is the Nuggets versus the Timberwolves.
Yeah, it's neck even
Yeah,
right
pretty
now.
close. Yeah. Minnesota has some talent, man. I mean,
Now that like Russell and Anthony are fully healthy and playing minutes, like the rest of the team is just like really able to solidify around them.
yeah. I know their GM got fired for, I guess he was banging like a secretary or something, but like he was really bringing in some great draft classes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, McDaniels, the power forward, Anthony Edwards, of course, the trade for Russell. I mean, just to get out of the Wiggins contract was like a big deal for them.
Yeah.
So they also traded for Beasley from Denver, Malik Beasley, who can really play. So yeah, they've got a like a I don't want to say a playoff team, but they have a potential playoff team for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. Jake had some really good on-ball defense there. Forced the errant pass, forced the turnover.
I wonder if he could be their defensive stopper of like maybe he might be a guy who potentially could guard 5 positions.
Oh, he airballs a 3.
Moody's such a good offensive rebounder.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have any in this game, but I mean, he had one that just got called back on a penalty, but he's got such good instincts. I really like Moody.
Oh, Moody in and out. Shows he guarding Roby somehow. It works. All right, the shots are back to not falling again.
Yeah, I've got 99-68 on my end. Yeah, looks like I'm like 2 full minutes behind.
Yeah. Okay, JTA brings it up. Kuminga outside. Kicks
The first-
out. Kuminga 3. Is that it? It hits.
Okay.
The crowd goes wild. Wow, Deck's shot was so quick. He's like zero motion as well. Kuminga into another three. Okay. Yeah, I mean his minutes right now like aren't representative of any game plan at all. Kind of just giving him the ball. It's garbage time.
Right.
I'd like to see what they like. I mean, they're not gonna run any plays now because it's
I feel like
moot,
the
but-
Warriors are about to have like the best G League team ever
yeah.
because like they're gonna
I
have
do
like
see
literally
that.
it's like Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody. They're gonna have three like lotto picks
Yep.
on their G League team like in 3 weeks or something. Holy smokes.
But that's the difference because the Warriors actually use the G League as just talent development. Whereas a lot of other teams, they're kind of just like, they have their affiliate, G League affiliate, but they don't utilize it at all.
I agree. It's like there's a few teams who use it really well. The Miami Heat, the Lakers, and the Warriors seem to
Yeah.
really, really develop with their G League. Other teams just don't care at all. I think they just use the G League as like a punishment for players who are like,
Yeah.
like, oh, you're not coming, you're not practicing hard. We're gonna send you to
They don't really seem like extensions of the organization.
yeah.
Yeah. Isn't the coach from last year, isn't he now on the main roster?
I
Forgot his
believe
name.
so. I think he took a job, like with the big club.
So what happened to like who replaced him? Do you know?
I can't recall. Maybe Rich can post it in the chat. I don't remember.
Google says Seth Cooper. Okay, so the current Santa Cruz coach, Seth Cooper, was player development coach for like last 2 years in the Warriors. Yeah, because I know like Ryan Atkinson, Chris Williams, they all went. Also, Mike Lee also. They've all transitioned up to Golden State.
Yeah, I actually like how Golden State got rid of all those deadweight coaches they had last year.
Yeah.
I mean, they did. Yeah, it was like a full overhaul. Kenny Atkins, Milo or whatever, the guy from Eastern Europe who used to coach Joker. Yeah, I like how they just recognized that they were really shitty last year. Like there was no
Yeah.
player development. They just had Wiseman out there jacking up threes. Yeah, so at least now they have a plan. Yeah, the last minutes of this game are just brutal, man.
Yeah, I mean, like no one's running anything. It's just like
Yeah,
give them the ball and just have fun.
yeah, it's just Kuminga trying to like back down what looks like Mike Muscala
Yeah.
or whoever that is. Yeah, man.
I mean, he came on in 6 minutes and took 3 threes. So It's not at all representative of anything, I'd say.
Yeah, Kaminga. Oh man, I don't know. I have high hopes as we all do for Kaminga, but
Yep,
I gotta say I was not a fan of his pre-draft. I
really.
was not a fan. I just don't know what he does at an NBA level.
Right.
Like, I'm. We had this discussion like a little bit before you came on earlier. I was talking to some guys in the chat, and I was saying like, I'm a big skill over athleticism guy. So when I saw like when it came to like Giddy versus Kuminga, I wanted Giddy because
Yep.
I can see the skill, the handle with both hands, the passing with both hands, that the vision, the floater game. And I know Kuminga can jump higher, but like I don't know. Can he dribble? Can he shoot? Can he pass? I've never seen any evidence that he can. He had that like vicious crossover dunk in summer league, but in an NBA game, they're going to call carrying on that play.
Right. Oh,
If you
okay.
remember the crossover he had at the top of the key, where he like crossed over a guy who reached and got all the way to the rim and dunked, and it was awesome. It was on Sports Center. I was like, yeah, in an NBA game, that's a carry. Like, so I don't know. I'm a little bearish on Kuminga. I know he has potential to be like an all-star, as most lottery picks do, but I don't know.
I
I
mean,
don't.
maybe it's also one of the like OKC style picks. Like, maybe he develops into a Giannis. Just, raw athleticism, pure
So
potential.
but Giannis, but like the thing with Giannis was like, okay, they drafted him out of the third level of the Greek league, but they gave him a crap ton of minutes as a point guard,
Yeah.
and he sucked for like 4 years.
Yeah.
Like Giannis sucked, man. I don't like
Like, oh yeah, he was a bad player. Like,
he sucked. Yeah, he
there's
was
no
like,
way, no other way to put it. He was a bad
yeah,
player
like
until he figured out what his role actually was, and then
yeah. And
like
so
the
that's the
player
thing is
development
like,
also like changed it
but
up, and then
yeah.
it
So like
clicked.
that's the thing is like you can't like let Giannis, I mean, I'm not Giannis, let Kaminga just play any, just make mistakes up until 2025 because
I
all
mean,
the
I like essentially like maybe it's like they know what like they see a game plan for him, and with the development coach, the new development coaches we brought up now, like they
yeah,
have a road plan for him. So like with Giannis, it wasn't like he just took that long for him to develop. It was like they didn't know how to develop him until like 4 years in.
right. I mean, and even if you look at physically, this guy gained like 40 pounds of muscle.
Yeah,
Like
like
it was like this whole change. Like he sucked. He went from a guy who couldn't dribble, like a gangly
yeah,
6'11"
it went
guy,
from
to
like
like,
it went from like a skinny, long like point guard to well what he is now.
yeah, like a muscle bound,
Completely different.
yeah. I mean, yeah, he still can't shoot, but like he's gotten better at finishing. He can
Thank
shoot
God he
free throws
can't.
now. He's a better passer, and it's like we don't have time for that. Like Steph Curry is 34 years old.
That's true.
Like we have 2 years to like win a championship or not. That's it. Like this is a 2 year window. What I feel. Um, I don't. Yeah, it's a two
Yeah, I
year
keep
window.
forgetting that our players aren't young anymore.
Yeah, I mean it's a hard thing, man. You got to like look up and be like, man. Let's see. Clay is what, 31.
Yep.
Draymond is 32, maybe.
And I feel Draymond's gonna fall off
Oh,
way
and he's
earlier
an
than everyone
old
else.
32 because he
Yeah.
plays like so physical, man. Um, Kevon Looney is 26, but he's
I can
really,
see Draymond just retiring with Steph.
yeah, I can see that too. I mean, it would be embarrassing for him to play by himself,
Yeah.
like,
Like yeah. And it's gonna be Clay left by himself.
yeah, I feel like Clay's gonna play forever, even when he's like a bum old player. I think he'll still be like just going from team to team, trying to like extend his career. Because I think Steph has like trying to like empower women's basketball, and Under Armour shoes, and he loves golf. I don't think Clay likes anything else.
His
Like, I think
boat.
this is Clay's like. I don't think Clay cares about anything else. I don't
No,
like.
yeah, no. Like Clay is just like he just exists and he vibes.
Yeah, I think this is like he just wants to play basketball.
Yeah.
Whereas like Steph is like, man, dude wants talking about being in the PGA, like being a pro golfer, and um, I don't know, like I'm treasuring every moment with Steph because I'm like, this dude could easily just walk away.
Yeah. I mean, when he's
I know he's
37, he's gonna be a $60 million 37-year-old.
yeah, and I know he, every athlete talks about, oh yeah, I talked to Tom Brady and I'm gonna play till I'm 45. Yeah, right. Steph is an undersized. Well, he's on the small side. Like
Yeah. And plus, I don't think
I
he
don't see
should
it,
like drag out his career. Like,
and he would just destroy his own legacy.
yeah,
When you
like
do that,
a Jordan Wizard stint is not a good idea.
yeah, like do you really want to see like 40-year-old Steph on the Charlotte Bobcats, like at the end of the bench? I don't know. Like I don't want to see that. That's
Yeah. Like if anything, he can go out like Kobe did, like just ride like just stay on the Warriors at the end and just like not actually contribute or taking a massive salary. And then the second he goes, like the entire team transitions to the young player. And
right.
that
Right.
that extra salary cap that's like left there can be just easily used to acquire big players. And then contention happens right away again.
Yeah. So what do you think about a potential Ben Simmons trade if that ever happens?
I don't want to see that ever happening. I just nothing about Ben Simmons makes me want to keep like have him. Just like his mentality, his attitude, none of that I don't think would fit the organization. Like he's like, I understand why he's doing what he's doing, but at the same time, he doesn't have the power or the like bargaining capability to do so.
Yeah, he's not good enough for how he's acting.
Yeah, exactly. And if he's gonna,
Yeah.
if he's like, also just purely based on the fact that he hasn't actually changed any of his game or improved in the last 3 years, it's like another Russell Westbrook situation where, good
Yeah.
player, whatever, but they don't do what they have to do. They don't change how they have to change for the team. Like,
Yeah.
wasn't there
Yeah.
like, wasn't the coach was like, oh yeah, like we got to get Ben Simmons to shoot more threes, and then from that on, he just didn't shoot a single three for the rest of the season.
And that's the weird thing because Ben Simmons, like even his rookie year or even like every summer mixtape you see, he's shooting threes, but like he
Yeah.
refuses. And so to me, I'm like, okay, well, I don't want that I don't want that. That will kill the Warrior system because even if you can't shoot, you have to take some shots. Like Draymond,
Our organization and our culture makes bad players better than they are.
yes.
But if he comes here, rejects the culture, he's just gonna he won't be elevated by the culture. We can make
No.
Jordan Poole look like the next Kobe Bryant, but if he doesn't want to play, if he doesn't want to change or listen to coaching, then there's nothing that can be done about it. So it's just dead weight and a big salary.
So, okay, so I agree with you. The only one caveat where I will say I do want Ben Simmons is if he agrees to play center.
Yeah.
If he agrees to play center and it's like, okay, we can
if he's willing to play ball and
yeah.
my whole issue is that he's not willing to change.
Well, the thing is his dad has told him his whole life he's a point guard.
Right.
So when he came over from Australia, he came to LSU, they put the ball in his hands. He came to the Sixers. They got rid of their other point guard who they drafted, the kid who kept getting hurt from shit, what is his name?
The shoulder one.
Michael
Fultz.
Yeah, they got rid of Fultz and they put the ball in Ben Simmons' hand and like told him you're the point guard. And now they're trying to like take the ball out of his hand and he's throwing like a bitching temper tantrum and doesn't want to be there anymore. And it's like, okay, yeah,
then
but
make it so that
and so he's
learn to shoot.
He's sulking because the coach won't play him as a point guard in clutch moments. But like he can't play in the clutch because he can't shoot free throws or 3-pointers. That's so it's like, what do you want the coach? What do you want Doc Rivers?
Yeah, if you're shooting worse than Shaq as a point guard, you should not be. Like you should give up trying to be a point guard.
Yeah. So it's like the thing is, if you're a point guard, you got to be able to shoot threes to keep the floor stretched, and then you have to be able to shoot free throws to ice the game away. But he can't do either one of
Either.
those. So it's like, okay, this guy's got to be a center, man. Like
Yeah.
I'll take him over Kevon Looney, who I think is like a fine backup, but he should never be
Yeah,
starting.
like he's definitely way better than Kevon Looney as
Right.
a center, you know.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So
But he's never gonna be like he just won't accept that, you know. Like I don't know why he didn't just say, okay, I'll play the role you want me to play, and then but I want a trade, demand a trade, like you know,
Well-
like it's not like players haven't just demanded a trade and then just not played. Like James Harden, he demanded a trade and got fat. Anthony Davis demanded a trade and just started playing really badly. But these are all-stars. These are multiple-time all-stars.
yeah,
Like,
I mean, I like Simmons has made all stars, but he's not on that caliber though,
Yeah.
because it's
You
like
should-
there's a difference
like,
between
yeah.
like an all-star and like an all NBA guy, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is James Harden, I like to make fun of James Harden, but that's a bad MF right there, actually. Like, like, dude, he can really.
Our
really
hate
get
comes out of
buckets.
respect.
Yeah, it's like I hate him because he's a legitimate like 35 point a game dude. Like he's nasty. His Ben Simmons isn't that. Like Ben Simmons is a good defender, good passer,
I mean, yeah, the thing
horrible
is,
shooter. Horrible.
the issues with their playoffs last year essentially just boiled down to him and where he's playing.
Yeah.
And I think like, you know, the solution to that isn't to be like, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. Bye. It should be fine. Let me play, but I'm making it clear that I don't want to stay. You know, get like he could have played half the season, and by the time like the trade deadline comes around, he could be like, if I don't get traded and I played well, like I'll throw this timber tantrum that I'm throwing now.
Yeah.
You know.
So there's a comment in the chat from Betty who says he was a problem at LSU as well. And then
Yeah, I mean,
Gab says,
I see the scouting reports now that apparently show that
oh
like-
yeah, like
this was always a problem.
exactly. Yeah. He was always had this bad attitude, but it got amplified more when basically Embiid became the focus, and I don't think he could mentally handle not being the star. I don't think he could handle it.
Yeah.
So what I don't know what you would do, because if you lose Wiggins, okay, so obviously Ben Simmons I think is a better player, but I think Wiggins is a better fit, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, like Kelly Oubre Jr. is a better player than, I don't know who. Let me see who do they replaced him with? Probably like JTA's minutes. Like any GM is going to take Oubre talent wise, but JTA fits the Warriors better with what he does, the cutting and the passing. Like, so I don't know. I mean, I would take fit over talent in that way, because Wiggins is playing hard on defense, and he still is giving you, I don't know what, 15 a game, and he'll still shoot threes at about a 38% or more clip.
Yep.
You got to have that. You can't have like 90s basketball style where you don't care about 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can't have that unless the guy's like a center or something.
I don't feel like Ben Simmons is an upgrade from Wiggins. Just
really.
Yeah, I don't. I actually really like Andrew Wiggins. Like when when Wiggins doesn't do that, you know, I'm just gonna stand here and jack up threes thing. I really like the way he plays. Like when he actually leans into the slasher that we need him to be, I think it's great. But he just you can tell something he just doesn't do it. He's not hunting for buckets. Because last season you saw so many times like he'd lead the second unit and he'd just get points after points. But then like this season, I haven't seen him being really aggressive. You know, like I love that the Wiggins Euro step, but it's like whenever he does it, it's a guaranteed bucket. But he just doesn't do it enough, like in my opinion.
Well, his go-to shot is that foot on the line, step back, long 2-pointer.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't like
I
that.
hate that shot. Oh my God. It's like, I'm not even an analytics guy, but I hate that shot. That is the worst shot in the NBA because he
It's
shoots
just
it.
so pointless.
Yeah. It's like, okay, this is a super low percentage shot. I was actually roasting Jordan Poole earlier in the game because he made a three where he was like, a fadeaway in your face 28-foot three
Yeah, just
pointer.
he
But
chipped me.
I said he's gonna miss like 10 of those because it's a very low percentage shot. Like that's a Kobe shot or a Steph shot. Like he ain't Kobe or Steph. He shouldn't be taking those shots. That's why his percentages are going to be. He's going to be like a 28% shooter this year.
Yeah, even though he should be like a
Even
35.
even though he should be around 35, 36, because he actually is a good shooter. If you
Yeah.
look at his mechanics, you're like, damn, that is. You could watch him in a game and be like, okay, that's a good shooter, but his
Shot
selection
selection is very
is
questionable.
terrible.
Yeah, like
Oh
Wiggins
my
has the
God.
same problem, and like to me, that's like I don't know. I still see Wiggins as having potential, even though he's 26 now, and I really shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some guys who are like super late bloomers or whatever, but um at least Wiggins has the balls to take some shots, whereas Ben Simmons will not.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's the only reason why. Because I mean, like, if you're talking about like an on-ball defender, off-ball defender, a passer, even in terms of slashing, like Ben Simmons gets to the rim, he just will miss all the free throws though. But so you could do like hack a Shack stuff on Ben Simmons because at least Wiggins
Yeah,
Wiggins is gonna make
people can
70%.
hack. Yeah, the Wiggins will miss 2 free throws in a game.
Oh yeah.
But he still hits 67, like 70% at least.
Yeah, that's the thing is, yeah, Wiggins is gonna get you. He's gonna hit 2 out of 3. So but Simmons is like
1
I
out
don't
of
know.
2.
What was he in the playoffs? Like 40% or something.
Yeah, it was below 50, and
it was
that's
so
just crazy.
sad. It was just brutal to watch. Like they weren't even close. It was like huge air balls and oh man, it was disgusting to
It
watch.
looked like he had an arm injury.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
you're
like
right.
Markel Fultz level of just I don't know how to shoot anymore.
Yeah, I'm always like one of the things about the draft is like the draft is my specialty, and one of the things I hate is when these guys hire like some kind of shooting coach who jacks up their form between for the like after they played their freshman year or usually whatever,
Yeah.
they hire some coach who jacks up their form. It happened to Devin Vassell, who plays for the Spurs. And he was like a good shooter at Florida State, and he can't shoot at all in the NBA now. And I'm like, okay, somebody jacked up his form. It looks totally different. I don't like when guys try to change their form. I'm like, look, man, if you just made the NBA, keep the form that you have and just get better at it. Like, don't let some shooting coach jack up your form.
You shouldn't be making such big drastic changes unless there's an issue.
Exactly. That's the thing is like if you're like some terrible shooter, okay, I get it, but I don't want to see a
I mean it's like the same idea. It's like coaches who will go to a place and like request the entire team to get traded and then have like players that fit their system come in versus coaches who will go there, see what players they have, what assets they have, and just find a system that works for it.
Yeah.
Rehauling things is like a long investment that most of the time won't work out.
Yeah. A guy who's changed his jumper is Draymond Green. If you go back and look at 2014 tape of how he shoots and now how he shoots, he does like a shot put thing now.
Yeah,
and
the backpack.
It's like he's wearing a backpack full of bricks.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and he's subsequently throwing those bricks.
Yeah. And it's terrible. I'm like, man, what happened to this guy? I know he said he like tore his hip flexor and he had to change his shot. I heard him on one of these barbershop interview.
But but if there was any reason to completely rehaul a shot in the offseason, that would be it.
Yeah. I mean, and I get that. He said one of the NBA finals that the Warriors were in, he said, I think they won in 5 or 6 or something. And he said, if it went another game, I wouldn't have been able to play because I like tore my hip flexor.
Yeah.
And I had to have surgery in the offseason and I changed my whole And I'm like, okay, that was the birth of backpack Draymond.
Yeah, it was the
But
2016-17 season.
okay, yeah, I just heard him say it, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense because his shot is way uglier and flatter now. It has no arc.
Yeah, because in the 2015-16 championship season, he shot 38% from three.
Yeah,
And then the next season it dropped to 31 after
huge
shooting
drop off.
after shooting 40% in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's brutal. That is brutal. Yeah, that's what that's my evidence as to why I don't like players changing their shooting motion. I don't like NFL quarterbacks changing their throwing motion or pitchers. Like, don't mess with the biomechanics that you've used for 20 years. Don't tinker with it because you'll lose confidence and then you'll suck. And then you'll be like Ben Simmons, where he's like, I'm not even going to try to attempt it because y'all are going to make fun of me.
Yeah.
Which is like a huge crybaby move, right? Like people are going to make fun of him on social media. So he doesn't want to attempt free throws or 3-pointers. So yeah.
Rich said that he's logged off.
Okay.
On that note, I think we should end the stream soon.
Yeah. Oh, so do you want to finish the chat and then we can log it off?
Yeah. Wiggs will get easier buckets and Clay comes back. I think Wiggs will be pushed more to the second unit when Clay comes back. So we'll go back to seeing like Wiggs helm the second unit.
Like
Wiggs
and Poole, second unit.
Poole should start with the erratic plays. I mean, yeah, he is a bit out of control right now, but he's still trying to find his footing with like where exactly his role is in the team and when he needs to be aggressive. Because right now, whenever he gets the ball, Poole looks like he's just going straight at the basket. Like if he gets the ball, he's gonna be aggressive, but he needs to rein it in a bit.
Yeah, he's kind of a black hole for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like you kind of need that on a team with a bunch of guys who are like pass the ball around guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
You need that aggression.
Yeah. Like the game plan right now is for Poole to just attack when he gets the ball. Right. I think that's the exact role that Kerr wants him to do because that's just something that we don't have on that second unit much.
I don't want him to change anything except for the 30-foot heat check 3-pointers.
Yes.
And
no heat checks, just no heat checks.
Yeah, no heat checks because I'm like, you're going to guarantee to miss those shots because they're very low percentage shots. You can't shoot from 30 or 32 feet away. He's shown that he can finish at the rim, so he should be slashing and drawing fouls because he's a good free throw shooter as well. Oh yeah, he's like 88% or something like that from the line or for his career. He's really good. So
only Stephen Curry should ever be taking heat checks.
Yeah, I'm like, look, if your name isn't Lillard or Curry, you should not take 33-foot heat checks. Like that drives me crazy. But yeah, Wiggins will get better shots when Clay is back, probably. But like, don't expect Clay to like be good, man. I don't know. Like, it's sacrilegious to say Clay's one of my favorite players of all time, but
it's gonna take him time to fit back in.
Yeah, like I think Clay might
2 years.
Yeah, he might suck when he comes back. Like he might just be Danny Green. Ironically, the guy who crippled him, he might just be that guy. Like, limited to 20 minutes a game. Will shoot like 1 for 6 from 3-point range. And he's probably going to be laterally really messed up because you're talking about a right knee and a left Achilles.
Yeah,
man, they're going to take him off the dribble. They're going to hunt for him like they hunt for Bielika.
Yeah. He's not going to be fast.
Yeah. So I'm like, please don't think of this as 2019 Game 6 Clay. No. And that's why I want them to run out and have a really good record. So it's not like pressure on Clay to come in and save our asses.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's a recipe for failure. Like even Bob Myers was like, oh yeah, a lot of this depends on Clay. I'm like, that's so unfair. Dude hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah.
And you're like, a lot of this success depends on Clay. Like you're a GM, you go get better players. So anyway.
Like in hindsight, it is unfair to expect him to come back and just be prime Klay Thompson. Because when he comes back and he is, well, good, that'll be great. But if he comes back and he's not, everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, like this was meant to be this, blah blah blah, and then like the
Oh yeah,
response from
I
that
think the
is gonna
first
be,
month is gonna
how?
be like first take Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins and Jason Williams just being like Clay is so washed.
Yeah, but
Like
then
it's
like
gonna
these
take him
people say
time.
that, and then come playoffs, Clay like will probably be back to normal,
Yes,
and then it'll be like, oh wait, we didn't actually mean that.
right. But they're gonna attack him his first game back, first
Yeah.
couple games, they're gonna like make a narrative around him.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like bracing myself, like, oh, they're about to shit talk this guy so hard. So anyway, but I'm excited. Thank you guys for having us on. You want to shut it down now?
All right. Thanks everyone. Be sure to smash that like button. Sorry, that's Richard saying. Join us for the next game, which is in 3 days, right?
Yep.
It's quite a few days. So yeah. Right now the Nuggets Wolves game is 89-89 tied with 3 minutes left. So everyone should go check that out. And we'll see you guys later. I think Dulo, you have to end it on your end.
All right.